What's up, you guys? Dark Knight here, back with another action figure review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Batman the White Knight Batman. Taking a look at the packaging over here, it's pretty much the exact same thing that we've seen with all the other DC Multiverse figures, except you do get a little bit of a different McFarlane Toys logo up there, which is a little bit unique. 22 moving parts at the top of there, DC Multiverse at the bottom, Batman along with the blue background over there with the trading card in the base, and at the side over here you do get Batman along with the window box continuing along, DC Multiverse at the top, McFarlane Toys at the bottom. And the other side, you do get DC Multiverse once again, Batman, the White Knight, and then McFarlane Toys. And the very back over here, you get the art of the wonderful figure. And as you can see, this figure is based off of the art of the amazing Sean Gordon Murphy. I believe that's his name. Definitely has a very unique and interesting style. Anyway, as you can see with the source over there, this is based off of Batman White Knight #1 from 2017. Each figure comes with a collectible trading card, and at the bottom over here you do get all the other figures you can collect inside this wave. And as you can see, you do get the Hellbat Batman, which I have done a review on, so be sure to check it out. Wonder Woman with the armor, Batman from Batman Arkham Asylum, and Joker from Batman Arkham Asylum. Then of course you do get McFarlane Toys' social media over here, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have an Instagram account, it's at the Darkest Night. Feel free to follow it. Then at the bottom over here you can see all the copyright info along with the UPC code. And as you can see, I got this at EB Games, and I don't know if they were ripping me off, but they sold it for an extra $5. Usually in Canada they sell it for around $30, and I even saw it at Toys R Us being $25. So I don't know what it is with that. Maybe they're starting to charge us more on these figures, but we'll have to see in the future. Then of course at the top you get the window box going along once again, and yeah, that's about it. So how's about we take a look at Batman? So here's taking a look at Batman over here, and I gotta say this is a major step up in the right direction for McFarlane Toys. Their last Batman, as you remember, as I said, I had a lot of gripes with it. There was a lot of stuff they messed up on, mostly proportion wise. I was also talking about stuff with the cape and the type of plastic that you were using, but overall what I'm seeing over here is that they completely changed all of that, man. This is a freaking awesome Batman figure. We'll get into that. First, we'll take a look at the accessories. First up, he does come with a grapple gun over here, and as you can see, it's just a tiny little grapple gun with an end over there, and nothing too special about it. You get the silver ends over there, and if you want to put it inside of his hand, he does have one open hand on his left hand, and you can just slide that in, and then pull that over. I don't know why this is so hard. Yep, and there you go. He holds that pretty well. And yeah, he doesn't really come with any extra hands, but he does have a fist hand over there. And they do get two batarangs with the line on them, with the string, I guess you'd say. One's already rolled up, as you can see over here, and then the other's already sprawled out. This is made out of mostly a soft plastic material. It's not really made out of any bendy wire. It's kind of in its own frame, but it's very pliable, very movable, quite nice. And you do get the batarang at the end of there, which looks really awesome too. Very well painted, I guess you would say. And then yeah, very well sculpted as well too. I love the strings going through the batarang. But you get the sprawling motion over here, and it does not port inside the grapple gun. As you can see, the grapple gun does not have a port, so you're not able to do that. But you can put it inside of his hand over here, and then just wrap it around like so. Yeah, it's almost as if he just threw it, and now it's just going out, right? So it's a cool sort of gimmick, I guess you would say. I'm guessing that he did that in the comics, in the specific Batman White Knight comics, but I can be honest with you, I'm really not sure. But nonetheless, really cool accessory, really like that. And then for the sprawling batarang over here, as you can see, got all the sculpted material in there as well too. It looks really nice. This is all solid, by the way. A little bit pliable, but more solid than the other string that I showed off. But yeah, this glossy black over here looks absolutely amazing, man. This looks absolutely fantastic. I'm loving this so much. And you can fit this inside of his hand, but I think that the main purpose with this is to put on his belt. As you can see over here, has a nice soft little hook on his belt, and I'm guessing you could just go ahead and put it on his belt like that, and that looks pretty cool to say the least. But here's taking a look at Batman, and as you can see over here, this is based off of the art of Sean Murphy, or Sean Gordon Murphy. I'm not too familiar with the artist, but I really like his art style. He has a very specific and unique art style, which is very unique. But as you can see over here, comparing it to the box art, it looks a little bit off, but I think in some other frames of his artwork he has this sort of look more rather than this picture over here. But overall, I think they captured his art style very well. It looks very awesome in in real life. Maybe not through the camera, but I don't know. I still think it looks pretty cool through the camera. But the paint looks very, very clean in this guy. I want to I want to say that for sure. It looks very clean. It has sort of like a separation from like the mask and the sort of like face piece, the chin piece, and they even painted in the mouth over there too, which looks really awesome. And then as you can see with the ears over here, they look very cool as well too. I'm loving this cowl, man. I love that nice sort of like wrinkle look. Yeah, so same with the collar piece over here. This is looking pretty cool as well too. Never really thought that Batman would have a cowl. I get it that he's, or not a cowl, a neck. I don't know what they call it, but it's. I never thought that Batman would have it. Kind of reminds me of the Batman Gotham by Gaslight look, but I know that this Batman does have it in his comic run, Batman White Knight. And you know, I think it's unique. I think it really does match in well with like sort of the Dracula side of Batman, seeing as he's a bat and like Dracula's like a bat in a way. Nonetheless, I do think it's a really cool take on the cape, and it looks really awesome. But it is a little bit harder up here, I'm guessing, because it's all glued up here. Over here on the cape, though, you do get a bit more pliable cape, I guess you'd say. It's a lot softer and a lot lighter as opposed to the previous Batman that they released. And as you can see, yeah, you can flip it over, get in all that articulation there. It's pretty awesome. We'll go through the articulation later on, but still really awesome that you'll be able to do that. You can even do it on this side over here as well too. And yeah, that's just awesome, man. So maybe that they put the cape in through like the chest area here, then over here they just let it go, which is pretty cool. But yeah, then we get to the bat signal over here, and man, it looks so clean, man. It looks so clean. I love the fact that it's raised from the chest area as opposed to the previous Batman where it was kind of like sculpted in. This one is like raised and has all the lines that are sculpted into it. It just looks so awesome, man. You know, I really wasn't a fan of this suit at first, like through the comics, but seeing him figure form, it has made me love it so much more, man. I absolutely adore this thing. It looks so clean. And I gotta say, too, with the muscle structure, it has been a constant problem with McFarlane Toys where they've had the proportion issues. But over here, it very well matches the proportions. And so in the comic books, like looking at it in person, it looks like it was ripped out from the comics, man. That's how good it looks. That's how good it is. So definitely, if you love the White Knight Batman design, this figure is absolutely fantastic, man. Arms over here too, though, look pretty neat. I've never seen this sort of gauntlet design before. It's kind of weird, but I guess it's cool in a way. You do get the hand in there, which looks pretty cool, and then the black sort of like lines in there. It's kind of a throwback to Detective Comics 27, maybe his first appearance, where he had the purple gloves. Now he just has the black gloves, which is kind of cool. And then you just have the fins over there. That's a bit of a harder plastic, so those don't feel like it's going to break off anytime soon. And when you bend this in, I'm not sure this was meant to do it, but he's got an elbow pad in there, which is pretty cool. Then the belt is pretty bulky, as any Batman belt should be. You do get the knife that's in there. It's not removable, though, but then you get the rest of the pouches throughout it, and it looks really nice all together, as you can see. Awesome. And I never really thought about this design over here with the boots. I mean, it's quite neat, don't get me wrong. I think it's really cool and very unique, to say the least, very interesting, but I don't know if I like it that much. It still looks cool, though, in figure form. One thing that I really want to say about this figure, though, is that it looks very clean. I absolutely love how this thing turned out. You can see a bit of the yellow kind of like popping over there, the Mr. Mark just a little bit, but other than that, it looks so clean, dude. It looks so clean. You do get the fins at the bottom, the boots over here as well too, along with the shoes and all the lines going throughout. It looks really cool. And of course, you do not get any treads at the bottom of the feet, but you do get 2 pegels. And of course, with the cape over here too, this is a lot softer than what we've gotten before, a lot more lighter. And this is awesome because if you remember what I said about the Detective Comics 1000 Batman, I complained that his cape was too heavy and too big. Yeah, this one's a little bit smaller in scale, and it's a lot lighter, so it allows for the figure to stand on its own without the cape, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And you get all the cuts in there too. Very nice cape. I absolutely love this thing. In terms of the articulation with this guy over here, it's pretty much the exact same thing that we've seen with all the other DC Multiverse McFarlane figures. His head does move up around that much. It can move down, it can move side to side. There's a bit of pivot in there. This collar piece is all soft, rubbery material, so it doesn't hinder any of that articulation. Same thing with the arm joint over here. If you fold the cape over like I was showing before, you do get the butterfly joint in there along with the extra, shoulder joints, so it can shift around like that. move up all the way like that, and go up and down, bicep swivel. Then it also does have a single jointed elbow. Wish it had double jointed, but unfortunately it's just a single jointed. And of course it does have that wrist articulation. It's the same ball peg that we've seen with the Detective Comics 1000 Batman, where it can swivel and then you can kind of do your own thing with it. But what I do like about this, that's more hidden than the Detective Comics one, because if you remember, I did explain that one of my main gripes with the figure was the fact that you could see those ball joints, and it kind of bothered me. Now it's a little more hidden, so it doesn't really break up the sculpt as much. In terms of the torso area over here, he does have a diaphragm joint along with a waist joint. That's just where the belt is over there. He can move back at around that much, and he can move forward quite a bit, and he can pivot one side and the other side, and then just swivel around, do as you must. So those are some pretty good articulated points in there. He does have those same leg joints that the McFarlane figures are known for having, and I don't know, I don't really like these joints because they have broken on me before, but overall he can split like that, which is pretty good. He can swivel just a bit in the crotch area along with a double jointed knee, which is down here, and he could kick about that much, which is not too bad. Then of course he does have the ankle articulation, which is on that same ball peg, and once again it's a little more hidden in the sculpt, so I like that. It can move down, it can move up, you can swivel it around to make it a pivot. You do as you must with it, and then of course you do get the toe articulation. If you were curious as to how tall this figure does stand, as you can see over here, he does stand just under 7 inches tall. As a comparison, here he is compared to the Batman and Superman from the DC Multiverse McFarlane line, and as you can see over here, he does stand a little bit shorter compared to the two of them, and I gotta say, I kind of like this height a little bit more. I know that I wanted it to be 6-inch scale, but I'm actually quite happy if they were to continue making their figures with this height over here. And as you can see, he does not really scale very well with the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends line. However, I do think of this new scale over here, whether they call it 6.5 inch or 7 inch or however they must call it, I still do think that I like this scale even more than the Marvel Legends scale. So final thoughts on the Batman White Knight Batman figure over here. I really do think this is a really awesome Batman figure. Not only does it perfectly capture Sean Gordon Murphy's art style, it's just an absolutely fantastic figure altogether. They've improved on their proportions. The proportions on this guy look absolutely amazing. The scaling is a lot better to what we've gotten before, because those Batman and Superman figures are pretty tall, man. I love the fact that the plastic cape is a lot more softer and it's more contained rather than being all the way sprawled out, because now I can fit this figure in with a whole bunch of other figures without him tumbling everyone else over, which was again another big issue that I had with the Detective Comics 1000 Batman. And I also do think that articulation on this guy has improved as well too. I've noticed it a lot in the arms and in the chest and in the head. Not so much the legs. The legs are a little bit still a little bit weird, and I do wish that we got double jointed elbows, but not a huge deal. God, I didn't even touch on the paint yet. The paint on this guy looks really crisp and really clean. I haven't really noticed much in terms of errors, so definitely I really do like the quality of this figure. And not only that too, but the head sculpt has come out completely cleaner than I would have ever thought. If there's one word that I had to use to describe this figure, it would be clean. I'm telling you, this figure looks like it was ripped straight out from the comic book, man. That's how good it is. Now, in terms of accessories wise, I do like the fact that we get a couple of accessories. We do get the bat rope over there along with the one that's sprawled out, and then the grapple gun. I do wish, however, that we got more hands with the figure. That's my main gripe about it, that I wish we got more hands. Maybe just like a pair of like grabby hands and a pair of fisted hands. Because as you can see over here, it doesn't really look like that he's grabbing onto the rope. It looks more like this wrapped around his hand. And in terms of another main gripe, I just say that the figure's kind of hard to stand. I know that he comes with a base, but it still likes to fall over a lot of the time. So what do I give this figure as a rating? Now, seeing that McFarlane Toys has completely stepped up their game and now they're releasing better quality figures than they ever have at the start of the year. Like, I mean, it's such a huge step up from what we've gotten before that I really do think that this figure is really worth it. I will have to say though, I'm not too happy about the $5 increase in price. I don't know if it was just EB Games ripping me off or if it was actually intentional. Maybe it wasn't intentional and still the $30 mark. But again, I don't really think that this guy is worth another $5. But for now, I'm just going to be rating it as if it were a $30 figure in Canada and $20 figure in the US. And with that price over there, I really do think this figure deserves a 9 out of 10. It perfectly captures the artist's art style as well as the character inside the comic book. And overall, it's actually a really unique costume and a really interesting figure to have in your Batman collection. So I definitely say if you were a fan of Batman the White Knight, definitely get this figure over here. If you're a fan of just Batman in general and you like collecting Batman figures, definitely get this figure. Overall though, like I said with the Hellbat Batman figure, this is just an awesome figure altogether. And if you guys are like fan of like the different art styles and the unique sort of like designs of characters, just get this figure, man. Just main thing that I like to see in the future is just more hand accessories for those accessories that come with the figure. Other than that, completely awesome figure. Highly suggest that you pick it up. With that being said, guys, leave your opinions and comments in the comments section down below. Let me know what you thought about this figure. Let me know what you thought about my review. And while you're down there, be sure to leave a like rating. Like it if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. And as every YouTuber begs you to do, subscribe, please. With that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video.